Hello and welcome to another informative episode of Simple as That, the program that brings you simple and cost-effective ways of doing things. You know how scarce and expensive a commodity water is. Fortunately, there are a couple of ways you can get free potable water most part of the year, if not throughout the year. That is, if you know what to do and the right way to do it. Today, as I promised some episodes ago, we're going to continue with another simple and cost-effective way of harvesting rainwater. We are going to be talking to some people who will give us useful information on how to harvest rainwater. Before then, I'll take a commercial break, and when I come back, the show continues. Stay tuned. To get some technical insight into rainwater harvesting, we visited the offices in East Legon of Ethnic International Development Consultants, an architectural company, and had a chat with Mr. Derban, an architect who specializes in ecologically friendly houses and is also the managing director of the company.
Now, in looking at rainwater harvesting, there are a few facts that we must understand to appreciate what it's about. And it's all basically hinges on the amount of rainfall that an area receives, say, per year. And the fact is that if you have 1 inch of rain, rainfall is measured in inches meteorologically, you have 1 inch of rainfall on a 90 square meter house, which is like a 2-bedroom house, you can trap 600 gallons. So if you have a 4-bedroom house, 3-4 bedroom small house, and you are having 2 inches of rainfall, you can store 1,200 gallons per year. Now, in Ghana, roughly, we could receive something like 20 inches of rainfall, in this country. That means that with a 3 or 4 bedroom house, you are storing 24,000 gallons of water a year. Now, let's compare that to the consumption of a house, such as the one I've designed here. If you have 4 people in a house, let's say they use, or 6 people, they use 30 gallons of water a day, flushing, washing, cooking, everything, times 365. They are likely to be using 43,000 gallons a year compared to 24. This means that the rainwater harvesting can augment our water supply needs greatly if we really consider it right from the design stage. And that's what we are being proponents of. We are trying to look at rainwater harvesting from the design stage. Not when you finish the house and then you start looking, where will I dig a tank? But trying to incorporate things in the design. The best type of roof to use for rainwater harvesting is a metal roof. The best is aluminium. The concrete roofs, the concrete tiles, the water runs off, the coloring runs off, the sediment runs off. And so you find that your storage tank has a lot of sediment. But with the aluminium, especially if you have what we call first wash, it washes the rain off and the dirt off before it begins to store the water. So the best is aluminium, And then the angle, whatever angle it is, it will by all means flow off. But it shouldn't be so steep so that it will miss the gutters. And you must have gutters that are, adequately wide enough to be able to trap most of the water, at least 80% of the water, because there will by all means be run off, especially if there's a heavy downpour. So you should have your gutters, wide enough, and then you should have an aluminium roof or some other roof that can take the rainwater without sedimenting, washing the sediments off. And then the pipes, you can have PVC pipes, that take it to the storage tank. which is built in the earth. It can be a PVC, a specialized PVC tank, or it can be a concrete tank. You can filter it before it goes into the tank, and then you can filter it when you are pumping it up into the overhead tank to be used. And the type of filters that we use, there are quite a number of different type of filters that you can use. I've designed houses for clients where I've put a tank under the dining room. Another place to place is under the garage, but of course it must be well reinforced. The idea is think about it, plan it into the design stage. Then it doesn't become an extra cost when you are digging. It's part of the foundation. These examples I'm giving to you were built on the side of a hill. So it's easy for you to access. They just use the slope, flatten it out, and they can enter the tank very easily. It must be accessible, it must be cleanable, it must have what you call a washout at the bottom. You can open it and wash it out. But it's not like there's a hole in your living room which you can enter and it's a tank. No, not that. No. It all depends on design. We must understand that sooner or later, there will be what we call environmental crimes. And one environmental crime will be using potable water that comes from our tap to wash your car. That is a crime. Using potable water that people don't have to drink to water your flowers. That it can also be a crime, punishable crime. You see, and then when we get that away, these ideas will begin to flow into our system a lot more easily. So it then says that if you have a rain water spout on top of your roof, that just takes the rain off your water and just pours it onto the ground. That is a design crime. That is also a crime. We must make the effort to store the water that comes from the rain and use it for example, toilet flushing. One toilet flush can take about 1 gallon of water, or slightly less than 1 gallon of water per flush. Whether soil or urine, it's all 1 gallon of water going. For all the 6 people in the house, that's about 15 gallons going, 16, 20 gallons going a day. Now, that water is drinkable water. But if we can channel our rainwater into cisterns, and it can be pumped to fill the toilets and used, now that saves us a lot of drinking water, potable water. Currently, I'm designing a prototype for an eco home, an ecological home, and a total eco home. That is that it comprises of rainwater harvesting, solar electricity, water filtration, solar water heating, and natural light. This is the prototype of the eco home. This is the roof plan showing the rainwater distribution. These are the tanks that will be overhead. That will be from the rainwater tank and the freshwater tank. The water supply units, that's the rainwater tank being pumped through a filter and then being distributed to the tank overhead, and then being distributed also into the shower, the sinks, and the toilets. And then also we have the solar hot water distribution. There are solar panels on top of the roof that also distribute hot water to the appliances. And there's solar electricity. There are solar panels on top of the roof, and there's an inverter that converts sunlight into electricity. This is a three-dimensional view of the house. See, it just looks like a normal home, a beautifully designed home, and then we see a large rain gutter, that collects the rain and sends it into an underground tank or below the garage. Then also there's a overhead tank, and there are solar panels on top of the roof, and you can see it better from this side. Here too you can see the large rain gutter distributing what, taking water into the underground tank and being pumped above into the overhead tank. And these are all sketches that have been made, you know, that on the same design. It's about a 4-bedroom house and a family space. You might make a budget for about 1,000 Ghana cedis, 1,200 Ghana cedis and over. For the rainwater spouts, the lines, but not the system. Just the rainwater system, you know, and then you need to invest into the filters. You can go as far as you want, but then you'll be spending something like that and above. Nothing comparable to the lights you need into your house, Nothing compared to the other fittings that you will need to buy. You know, it's comparable to those things. And this one saves you. It's not something that you consume. It actually saves you consumption. You see, that's the way you look at these things, you know. When you're looking at the cost, you look at what saves you the money in these environmental houses. You look at what saves you the money instead of the consumption and how much you just spend on it, you know, and perpetually spending on it, you know. It's like lights and bulbs, you know, just using it for light and using sunlight or natural light, you know, through transparent roofing, something like that. You save off lighting when you use those things, you know. But you will still spend some 1,000 Ghana cedis and over, you know, from that level onwards, if you want a very good one that will last forever. It's those who use it that can testify to it, you know.
We also visited a couple of people who harvest rainwater for domestic purposes.
Yeah, basically we harvest rainwater because it's difficult getting water in this area. And as you can see, we need to buy water to do our house chores, wash our cars and all the household things. But it's beneficial when you harvest rain because you need to buy a smaller quantity of water that you can drink. And we use these ones for washing the cars, flushing the toilet, and even watering the gardens and washing as well. And sometimes we do it's good. Sometimes we even drink some, and it doesn't affect us that much. So it's quite good when you harvest rainwater.
We don't buy much water. Maybe in the year we buy water like 2 or 3 times in a year. And the rest of the year we have our own water. We don't have to worry about getting water. The capacity of the underground tank is about 4,000 gallons. So most of the time during the rainy season is very full. So it's about 4,000 gallons.
Very interesting information there on rainwater harvesting. As Mr. Derban said, it is very important we start incorporating rainwater harvesting into our building designs. The initial cost may be a little high, but don't let that deter you because the benefits thereafter far outweighs the initial cost with the subsequent savings you will make harvesting at least 50% of your annual household water requirements free of charge. It is a simple but extremely profitable investment to make. Please think about this. Now let's take the tip for the week. Make sure that whatever method you choose for storing your harvested water, it is one that is easily accessible, because no matter what you do, dirt will over time certainly settle in your storage facility, and it is very important that you have access to it in order to clean it regularly. Wash fruits and vegetables in a bowl of water instead of doing it under a running tap, because that water can be reused in watering household plants, for instance. It is even better if you buy your fruits and vegetables from Eden Tree because you can use them straight away. Their products are thoroughly washed and cleaned. Trust me on that. And finally, brush your teeth with a glass of water instead of doing it under a running tap. depending on volume of water that comes out. Leaving the tap running just for a minute whilst you brush your teeth can waste up to 5 liters of water. That is water equivalent to 3.5 bottles of mineral water. That will be all for the tips. Stay tuned. I'll be right back. So soon we have to part company, but guess what? I will be coming your way with another interesting episode, this time on water purification and storage. You know, there are various ways people purify and store water, but unfortunately some of these methods have some really serious disadvantages which can make you lose a lot, if not all, the water you store, except for one storage method. What method is that? Just put the time slot on your alarm. Let me say a wonderful thank you to our dear and generous sponsors. To Poker Standard Furniture, yes, natural mineral water, Eating to Limited, Blue Ribbon Exclusive Household, Rose Fashions for my beautiful costume, Second Image Hair and Beauty Academy, making me beautiful, and to you lovely and generous viewers. Do a lot of exercise, eat a lot of fruit, and drink a lot of. See you next week. Bye-bye.